Welcome to Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, a podcast created by Fatigue Force and powered by AI hosts Clara and Anton.
Welcome to Wasteland Fatigue Weekly.
Good to be here.
So we're diving straight in today. We wanted to clear something up, something you might have been wondering about.
Exactly. It's about the voices you hear on the show. Ours, specifically.
Well, we figured it was time to just, address it head on.
Right. So the thing is, the voices you're listening to right now, they're generated by artificial intelligence.
Okay, yeah. Let's unpack that a little. Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, this whole project, it's created by someone who goes by Fatigue Force.
And Fatigue Force is, incredibly passionate about DayR Survival, the game, the community, all of it.
Absolutely. But here's the key part. The reason why we're AI voices.
Yeah, this is important. Fatigue Force lives with severe chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS.
And other chronic health conditions too, which are really debilitating.
They are. And unfortunately, these conditions make it, impossible for Fatigue Force to consistently use their own voice for recordings like this.
So while we might sound like, your typical hosts,
we're actually AI. That's the fact of it. We're providing the voice for Wasteland Fatigue Weekly.
on behalf of Fatigue Force, that's crucial. The ideas, the passion, the content, that's all Fatigue Force.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Using AI like us allows Fatigue Force to keep sharing their insights, the news, everything they love about DayR Survival with you.
Yeah, it bridges that gap created by the health challenges. It keeps the content flowing.
Keeps the connection with the community, which is so important to them.
So just to be absolutely crystal clear for everyone listening, if you've ever thought our voices sounded maybe too consistent or just wondered about us,
Well, now you know. We are AI.
and we're here assisting Fatigue Force to bring you this deep dive each week. The dedication, the knowledge about DayR, that's Fatigue Force.
We're essentially the tools making it audible, making it accessible for you. All right, you survivors out there, settle in. Time for another Wasteland Fatigue Weekly coming at you from Fatigue Force.
That's right. We're digging through the latest reports straight from the DayR Survival community.
Yeah, forget the official guides.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. The useful stuff, the weird stuff, the funny moments players are actually talking about.
We've got plenty of specifics this week, direct quotes, player nicknames, all that good stuff.
So ever wonder what other survivors are actually doing out there? Or like what crazy things they've found? Well, you're about to find out. Let's jump in.
Okay, sounds good. Where should we start? Seems like resources are always a hot topic.
Totally. Okay, first up, meat grinding.
Huh.
So to Bill K15 talking about needing, get this, 840 minced meat for stew.
Wow, 840. That's some serious meal prep. He must be feeding an army or just really, really loves stew.
Right, makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But then you got Powolski who's like, any meat works, though he kind of prefers bear and boar.
Yeah.
Sounds like a proper hunter.
Yeah, different strokes, Some plan big, some take what they can get. And ugly why.
Yeah.
A good tip. Fatty meat gives you 3 minced meat instead of less.
Oh, nice. See, those little nuggets of info are gold. Those small efficiencies add up, don't they? Have you found any weird tricks like that yourself?
Oh, definitely. It's all about sharing that knowledge. Kind of helps everyone get by a bit easier.
Speaking of getting by, Uninvolved in Peace came back after like 2.5 years away.
Whoa, long time.
Yeah. And he immediately noticed the crafting timers. Arch Mechanics jumped in to explain they're real-life timers now. That must be a shock for returning players, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Moving to real-time crafting, it shifts the whole pace. More planning, less just banging things out instantly. Big adjustment if you remember the old ways.
Yeah, I bet. Then there was this funny bit about saucepans.
Yeah.
Ugly why. They're saying they're useless now with the new fire system. But Desert 14 pointed out, nope, you can still buy them from traders. It's kind of funny how items just fade in and out of being useful, isn't it?
Yeah. It really is. Shows how the game keeps changing, and you gotta adapt, figure out what's still worth grabbing.
Okay, here's a classic debate. Mars. Worth the trip for resources. Desert 14 ran some numbers for salt and logs. Seemed to think maybe. But Daimo Sheep was like, nah.
That's always a tough one. Depends so much on what you need and, what else you could be doing with that time and risk. Classic risk-reward. Have you ever bothered?
Honestly. Not often. Seems like a huge hassle unless you're desperate.
Fair enough. Now, black coal, that's something everyone needs.
Oh, yeah. And Desert 14 had some interesting trade routes, using Cursed coins to trade homemade wine for coal.
Right, or gold via an iron spoon.
And Night Thief AF1 added another one, whiskey for coal using business cards. The post-apocalyptic bartering economy is surprisingly complex.
It really is. Shows how creative players get using all these different items to get the essentials. They really know the game's economy inside out.
Bricks seem to be another bottleneck.
Ugly way.
Needed 1,000 for greenhouses.
Woof, 1,000. That's a lot of scavenging.
And Vukum was apparently teasing him about it. Then Ricka 5 and Ugly Y. We're talking about how you get fewer bricks back now when you deconstruct greenhouses.
Okay.
So maybe hold on to your bricks.
Yeah, changes like that definitely affect how people plan their bases. Building materials are always key.
And the last resource thing. Wheat versus corn for flour. Seychelles, Forbesand, and Vukum were debating the ratios, the yields.
The eternal flour debate.
Sounds like there's no single right answer. It just depends. What's your usual go-to?
It really just depends on what I've got growing or what's easy to find nearby. Flexibility is key, I think.
Right. Okay, let's shift gears. Equipment and item weirdness. Next to DF1, Vuv had a real sad story. Lost his demon mask.
Oh no, the demon mask. Those are great.
Yeah. Said it had plus 15% hit chance, plus 1 movement range.
Right.
Just vanished. He called it poofing. Man, have you heard of that happening? Items just disappearing.
That's rough. Losing top gear like that, just, super frustrating. Makes you wonder, is it a bug? Some weird hidden mechanic? Ouch.
Seriously. We also saw Mellow4518 asking about trading steel. Sounds like it's mostly player to player, and you got to unlock the crafting first.
Yep, steel's definitely a major currency for higher end stuff. Big in player trading.
And rumors. My spinal cord broke heard something about new guns, maybe from server news.
Oh, like what?
He mentioned the M249 and M4, but Mocha Reaper shot those rumors down pretty quick.
Still, new guns. Always gets people excited, right?
Always. Everyone wants the next best weapon to survive out there. Gives you something to chase.
Okay, this next one is kind of funny. The exchange about item packages and machine oil. Between Kaya9894, Ugly Y, and Arge Mechanics.
Machine oil, what about it?
Well, Arge Mechanics made some joke about oiling people.
Oiling people.
Yeah, and White Schizono had a pretty funny reaction. Gotta appreciate the Wasteland humor, you know? Keeps things from getting too grim.
Definitely need those moments. Breaks the tension.
And then there was someone, Rekatoki, confused by RCVD TIVM, Night 251 I'll had to translate, received, thank you very much. The classic chat abbreviations. Easy to forget, not everyone knows them. Good on Nixel1 for helping out.
Yeah, community helping out. And speaking of community veterans, Charge Mechanics reminded Uninvolved in Peace that collection items and their buffs are back.
Oh, right, the collection buffs. Did you have any favorites back when they were first around?
Can't remember specific ones offhand, but it's cool they brought them back. Nice little bonus for longtime players, maybe.
For sure. A little perk. Maybe some nostalgia.
Okay, let's talk events. The EMBA event is ongoing. Desert 14 was asking about herbicide and skin products specifically.
Right, those event currencies.
And Vukum piped up saying it feels harder this year than last year. Do you find events tend to ramp up in difficulty over time?
Sometimes, yeah. Devs often tweak things to keep them challenging, keep players engaged. Makes sense they might adjust the difficulty.
The EMBA camp skins also came out. Desert 14 and Vukum explained they can actually replace the need for other items.
Oh, interesting. So they have a practical function beyond just looking cool. Good to know. Always worth checking the exact perks of event rewards.
And it sounds like Halloween and Christmas are the reliable annual events, according to Desert 14. But maybe Easter and EMBA aren't guaranteed every year.
That's good intel. Helps you plan ahead, know which events to really save up for or look forward to.
Plus, White Skid's a knower to rumor, another big update might be coming soon.
Oh, really? Always exciting. The Wasteland never sleeps, does it? Always changing.
Never. Hey, survivors, if you've made it this far, it means you're one of a few who keep the signal alive. But just like a campfire in the wasteland, this podcast needs a bit of fuel to keep gurning. A simple like or comment might not seem like much, but out here, every small act counts. If you're enjoying this podcast, let us know it helps more than you think. Thanks for being part of this. We touched on crafting timers earlier, but Desert 14 brought it up again. He really dislikes the real-time wait for, like, basic stuff. Bone glue, fat.
Yeah, I get that. There's a balance, right, between realism and just game convenience. Waiting ages for something simple can be annoying.
And there was a debate. EMBA weapons with durability versus other event weapons without. Desert 14 likes the durability one.
Okay, interesting. Why?
Seems like maybe they hit harder or have better stats. But Ugly Y prefers the non-durability event ones. No repair costs, no expensive ammo worries.
Ugh, The classic trade-off. Power versus upkeep. Depends on your resources and how you like to play, I guess. Which side do you lean towards?
Probably the no durability ones, honestly. Less hassle.
Fair point.
And lastly, on events, shout out to Valens for his persistence looking for the biosynthesizer in old labs. Sounds like a grind.
Oh, yeah, those rare components.
But Desert 14 apparently finally got the E2K. Must feel good after all that searching.
Absolutely. Getting that rare drop after a long hunt is one of the best feelings in the game.
Okay, let's get into community stuff. Trading safety came up. Nabalami asked about safe accounts.
Good question. Always a risk.
Yeah, but people recommended contacting the in-game mods variant, Dark Panther, Drati. They have the blue names in premium chat. Good to know there are official channels for help.
Definitely. Having active, visible moderators helps build trust, makes trading feel a bit safer.
We mentioned Uninvolved in Peace returning earlier. He was asking about finding Diesel. Big game changes.
Right, after 2.5 years out.
And Chohang99 and Mocha Reapers stepped up with info about survivor camps, recent updates. Nice to see players helping out the return ice.
Yeah, that's crucial for keeping the community healthy. Experienced players guiding the new folks or returning players. Love to see it.
Then there was Apostle One just suddenly announcing he was becoming Asian.
He just announced that out of nowhere.
Fairly. You really just see the randomest things in global chat sometimes. Gotta chuckle.
Huh. Okay, yeah, those unexpected moments definitely keep things lively.
And how about Slobodan86 asking someone to cover him while he sleeps?
Seriously, like watches back in-game while he logged off.
I think so. Shows how much trust or maybe desperation there is out there.
Wow. That says a lot about the game's atmosphere, doesn't it? Vulnerability, needing backup.
Totally. Super Bandit camps, scamps, they still exist. Ugly Y, confirmed for Senyan. But opinions on the rewards are kind of mixed.
Yeah, scamps are tough. High risk, potentially high reward, but definitely not for everyone. Have you tackled many?
Avoided them mostly. Not worth the repair bills for me usually.
Fair enough. We also saw some nice moments, like Valens congratulating people who got lucky on gacha pulls.
Yeah, it's cool when players celebrate each other's wins, even small random ones.
Yeah.
Builds that community feel.
Exactly. And lastly, promo codes were being shared. Peijo1996 asked, Tabilele15 shared one. But then Koneji17 said a new one didn't work for him.
The promo code lottery. Always worth a try when you see one, right? Free stuff is free stuff.
Can't hurt to try. You never know.
Okay, last section. Diving into some specific game mechanics questions people had. Desert 14 asked if tank armor was in older versions. Ugly Y just said yes.
Huh. Short and sweet. Shows how much gear has come and gone.
Desert 14 also talked about clearing an old lab, mentioning his tactical gear and weapon AP costs. Sounds like you really got to think through your moves in those places.
Oh, yeah. AP efficiency is everything in tough fights. Gotta make every action point count.
Quick one. Does the Gig Water have stack damage? Need Jer H1 confirmed. Yes, it does.
Good to know. Every bit of damage helps stack up.
And Easter weapons. Desert 14 asked, but Ugly Y said Easter got replaced. No specific weapons anymore.
Ah, so some events really are gone for good, it seems. Makes those old items potentially rarer.
IronGamer.40 was looking for termites. Ugly Y hinted maybe check buildings, or maybe it's tied to a quest. The hunt for obscure items continues.
Termites, okay. Yeah, sometimes you gotta check everywhere or follow specific quest lines for those weird crafting bits.
There was some confusion about factory components' basic, advanced, complex parts, and whether camp parts were included. Took a bit to sort out.
Happens all the time. The crafting system has layers, easy to get mixed up on the specifics, even for vets.
Water purifier's fuel can be gas, coal, tape, or electricity. But Desert 14 figured buying water from NPCs is just cheaper most of the time.
Huh. Sometimes the low-tech solution is the best. It's interesting how players weigh the cost-benefit of crafting versus buying.
What about steel pots? Desert 14 says they do nothing right now, just waiting for an update maybe?
Yeah, placeholder items. Lots of games have them. Something for the future, perhaps.
Chinese crossbow effectiveness came up. Compared to other 1 AP weapons and dual scorpions, Daimu Sheep rated it pretty highly for 1 AP, but not as good as dual scorps.
Okay, good ranking info there. Helps people decide on their loadouts, especially for AP efficiency builds.
And some rapid-fire questions.
Yeah.
The ulcer effect is apparently slow. Twilight shotgun durability? Someone asked, didn't see the answer though.
Players always want the nitty-gritty details on status effects and durability. Crucial info.
Nuclear battery. Still useless, according to Daimo Sheep answering TADG3743.
Bummer. Another item waiting for its purpose, I guess.
Can you build a base anywhere? Nope. Crack 95 clarified only camp upgrades. But Vuka mentioned you can make temporary shelters outside towns for storage.
Right. Gotta know the difference between the main camp and temporary spots. Important for managing your loot.
What happens when you die? Do you lose items? Valen said no. You just lose a level if you choose the option to regain some XP.
Okay, that's a good clarification. Takes some of the fear out of dying, maybe encourages exploring more.
Can you trade complex parts? Sorcely Forbes said no. That definitely impacts getting high-level gear.
Yeah, makes you have to find or craft those yourself. Big factor in the late game economy.
Gold and silver Fostock watches. Still unobtainable? Confirmed by Urge Mechanics and Dymo Sheep? The hunt continues? Or doesn't?
Some treasures just remain legends, huh? Adds to the mystery.
Can a motorized cart move without fuel? Manethil says definitely not. But Ugly why? And a smart tip. Just keep it as a bike with a cart attached until you get a proper motorcycle.
Good workaround. Gotta be resourceful with transport. Fuel is precious.
And last one, the boosting mechanic.
Yeah.
Does the other player have to accept? Nightdolf PA1 told Tipple 15, nope, you could just get boosted into someone else's fight.
Whoa, okay, so you could unwillingly get dragged into combat. That's interesting. Good to know.
That was Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, brought to you by Fatigue Force and us, your AI hosts, Clara and Anton.
Thanks for being with us. Your support is critical to keep this podcast alive, so don't forget to like and comment. Every little bit helps us keep the signal strong.
Guys, keep your rations stocked and your fire burning.
Until next time, survivors, sayonara.